let's all stand up for just a minute. And here's what we do at the beginning of each rehearsal, no matter what group we're in. We start with some stretches because it's a physical thing that we're doing. And really reach. Okay? Some of us pretend we're tall, you know. And then reach to the side. And if, oh yeah, good idea. And really push those walls apart. So we're not just letting ourselves hang there. Push. Now point your fingers down and really point so that you feel a little stretch in here. And then back up again, and leave one up and put one down, and reverse, you know, all that good stuff. Okay, now give yourself a hug. And then put your other arm on the top. So we're going to do this again, but just switch so that your other arm is the upper arm. And I like to drop one hand, and then with that loose hand, just push a little bit further on this arm that's crossing you so you get a little more of a stretch. So it's like this. Okay, and then shake them down and put the other arm across, and then the loose hand pushes just a little bit, just to give that upper shoulder area and the upper arm. Okay, and then another good stretch, and of course we're protecting our wrists. If you use your hands in prayer, bring them down as much as you can, keeping the heels of your hands together. So we're going to go down, but keep those heels of your hands together, and you should really feel some stretching. I feel it in my thumbs. No, okay, as much as you can. If you can't, that's okay. And then up, and back down again. And then another good one, my sister, the physical therapist, told me this one. Turn your palms facing outward, and bring your, hanging down at your side, and bring your shoulders back as far as you can. But let your arms hang down with your palms facing out. And then relax everything and do that again. That's another good one. And then the other one we often do is one hand out and the other hand pushes, again, to just strengthen that wrist. And the same thing on the other hand. Okay. Oh, you're good. So, while we're ready to ring here, if you have the note D or the note A, could you please ring that? Ring them both together. So here's an example of just a really easy thing to do in church if you happen to use the Gloria Simplex. So D's and A's, can I hear you together? Ready, ring. Glory to God in the highest. Till you get to the very end. On the men, you switch to a C and G, meh, and then back to this one. So can I hear a C and a G, please? And then back to D and A. Okay, so can I start with the D and the A and be ready for the C and G? So here we go, D and A. Switch. What you have to do is dampen so that we don't want to hear the pedal sound, you know, the sustaining sound. So it's D and A, damp that, C and G, and then back to D and A. Okay, here we go, D and A. Right, so that could go all the way through the chord. And I'm sure all of us have done some kind of sustaining chord like that from time to time.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
I'm so glad you came. Okay. Now, would you please look in your packet? Oh, wait a second before that. How about all the D's? Can I just hear D's? And if you're not a D at a D position, first of all, pick up the D bells. If there are D ringers who could hand their D chime to somebody who doesn't have a D bell, we would like to hear bells and chimes. Okay? So spread them out so that I hear a lot of D's. So can I hear a D? Okay. Pange lingua Okay, so play whenever you want to. So in my parish now, we go from the church into the parish hall, which is where the altar of repose is. We leave the church, we go down the hall, we make a right, and then, so it's a long procession. So we put choir members with Ds among the parishioners. So it sort of keeps them together, keeps them on pitch. We sing in Latin, then we sing that verse in English, then we sing the next verse in Latin, and then in English. So we can extend that procession, and it just has that ethereal sound. So the choir members who ring are not part of the bell choir, but all you tell them is ring whenever you want to. Just keep the sound sustained. And you can do that while you're walking. Like you can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Singing and walking in English and Latin and ringing bells.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So I put the words, I put the words, it's double-sided, on cardstock. Oh, you know what? I lied. We do all Latin first, then we do English, then we do Latin. So that's how we do it. So in one hand, you're ringing whenever you feel like it, and then you're singing and stuff like that. So let's do a little bit of that again. So can I hear that D? And we're singing, ring anyone. In my parish, maybe it'll work in your parish. So that's just one note. And I've been known to call area churches and say, are you using your bells or chimes on Holy Thursday? And many of them say no. And I say, well, can I run over and pick up all your Ds? And they say yes. And I always say, I'll give them back. You'll have them for Good Friday if you want them. So I've been fortunate enough to have enough Ds to go around to all my choir members. And there could be 25 of us. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Did you use D and A too?
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could. Yes. So that might just spark some other ideas that you can use in your parishes. Okay, now, if you look at the O Come Emmanuel sheet, which should be pretty close to the top of your packet, if you would put that up on your music stand. Jim,
What?
where is the...
Oh.
Yeah, so I need you on an E. Hey,
So
man.
sorry about that.
You're tired. You know how to stand that up? Here's another.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Love you, Tom.
Wrecking the joints.
Yeah, really? Honey, you're gonna need to, you need it. You'll need to borrow somebody's.
Here,
Yeah.
you want me?
Oh, I do. A lower one would be better.
Sorry.
Okay, on this one, if we could start with chimes, playing E4 and B4. So if you're in E4, B4, yeah, chime, that would be good.
Oh,
So
chime,
for
sorry.
E and B. And then in the fives, if I could have the E5 and the B5. Okay, so can I hear the low octave first? And then the high octave. Where's the B5s? Where's the E5? E6, sorry. Okay, so once again, sorry. So the low ones, and then the high ones. Right. Okay, so we have three little sections to this. We're going to start with the singing bell, which you're going to love, and then the chimes. Now, when we get to the refrain where it says, on refrain, play these following notes. In any octave, if you have a D, an F sharp, a G, an A, or a B, I want to hear that cluster chord. And the rhythm is rejoice. So it's ring, ring. And then on the second rejoice, well, let's just do the first rejoice. Okay.
Is this a bell?
This is a bell.
Okay.
A D, an F sharp, a G, an A, or a B.
Okay.
Okay, in any octave. So I should hear ring, ring, and let the second one go for a long time. So can I hear the first rejoice? Ready, and. Right. Good. So it's not any major or minor chord. It's a tone cluster. Okay. Now listen to the next one. Some of you will ring again, the B's and the D's and the G's, everything but an A, plus we're adding an E. So I should hear B, D, E, F sharp, and G on the second rejoice. So here's the second one. Here we go. Right, and don't down. Keep it going. Okay. So let's put our little pieces together. So this is O Come Emmanuel. It works great in a procession, if you're doing an Advent lessons and carols, or just in the church. Okay, so. Here it comes. Can you hear it? So can I hear the chimes, the low ones, the high ones? Just the chimes. Sing with me. Oh, come or just let it keep ringing. But as you're ringing, keep those bells moving. Here's the other little special thing for that. This works so well. So I've made and remade these. What you can do is just hook this on any finger. And look at that, we have Advent colors. So here you go. So, you need any way to make them? I need your phone number. Yeah. You can see I stapled these, I tied them, they kept coming apart. Oh,
They're so awesome.
But if you just get the binder clip, or the binder rings, or maybe you can think of something better. I mean, really.
Just curious.
So you just hook it on a finger so it doesn't impede your holding, but boy, oh boy, is it effective. Yes, dear.
Did you have keyboard like organs to
No,
sing?
nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just acapella.
Yeah, it's just ethereal. It's just so beautiful. So, and these can be any length. So if you're my height, you want them shorter. So feel free to steal any ideas. You know, a different width, different colors. We also used these for one of our bell ringers' weddings. She had hydrangeas, pink and blues and stuff. So I must have those at home somewhere. So we just selected those colors, and they're pretty for a wedding. Okay, that was the best part. If you turn your O Come Emmanuel over, we are now on Palm Sunday. Oh, Daniel, so for this one we did use organ or piano, so we do play this. Sorry to take you away from that. Okay, so again, we used both bells and chimes to ring B flat and Fs throughout the hymn. Okay, so can we hear B flat 4 and F5, and then B flat 5 and F6? So we're going to again do the lower octave and the higher octave.
You have bells and chimes?
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so could I hear the lower B flat F combination? Ready? Yeah. 1, 2. Right. I should hear B flat and F. Okay, so B flat 4, F5. Where's that 5?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm so used to being D and E.
Oh. And if somebody is near you, they could play the F bell. So let's do that again.
You want
It's
you want it, your F?
ready, and 1, 2. So this is all glory, honor. So we got that part. Okay, we're going to continue. But now comes the exciting part. F, C, D, B flat, F, C, D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So the highest Fs we have, followed by the... So that would be F6, C6, D6, and B flat 5.
You want chimes and bells?
No, let's just do bells on this.
Bells, okay.
Okay,
So can I hear the moving eighth notes, please?
let's see.
Okay.
I have B flat 6.
Oh, we can do the sixth. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, C7. So you got them. So it would be F, C, D, B flat, ready. F, C, D, B flat. Beautiful. Keep going. F, C, D, B flat, F, C, D, B flat. No low F. Right. Okay. Yes.
LV, right?
Oh, we could do that LV, sure. Yeah, so don't worry about damping. Okay. So, could we hear like a 4-measure introduction? Okay, then we'll start with the half notes, and when I tell you, we'll bring in the eighth notes. Okay. I'm sorry. So it should be F, C, D, B flat, F, C, D, B flat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So that just kind of puts the icing on the top of everything.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So believe it or not, here, sit down for just a second. I had for several years, I had a nice big children's choir at St. Alexis. Would you believe I got the kids to do that and walk at the same time? And I found that the sustaining chimes worked well for the lower notes, but I like the clarity of the bells on the upper notes. So that's why I did that. So that was a lot of fun, and it gave the kids some way to participate musically, and then it brought their parents. So it was just all good. The other thing I did at a couple churches was, as you know, all of us have so many funerals to play, if you know, the parish worship committee agrees with this, you can lead the casket in with chimes or with bells. Depending on where you are, if you're up in a choir loft, you can do this up in the choir loft. I used, just was easiest because of the way the bell cases were set up, I used an F major chord with an added second. So F, G, A, C, yeah. So if we could use F, A, C with an added, with the G, and I liked a high F too. So if we could pick those out, I think I used the 5s. I think, so could we just hear F5
In here?
in the bells?
Bells.
F5, G5, A5, C6, and F6. Okay, and can I just hear the chord first? Yes, that is that quintessential bell chord with that second, that major second. So can I hear that again? Okay, and I had my funeral singers just random ring. So just you don't have to do them together. So can we just do a few? Yeah, so here's the family walking in behind the casket, all the way up, all the way up. Correct. And then you just don't really damp, you just let them dissipate. So that's it, they're up front. And then the cantor says, please join in singing our opening hymn. So that gives the family a chance to get in. We would ring all the way till they were in their pews and settled, and you know how that moment can be. That's just very emotional.
Yes.
That gave them a chance to get into the pews, settle themselves down. Then the cantor would announce the hymn, and then whoever could sing would do that, and of course the choir would sing. Yes, Jim?
I borrowed this idea from somebody else. For our All Souls liturgy every year, I have my choir, they go downstairs and they random ring up the front aisle. They bow to the altar, come back down, and then it's the same tone cluster with the opening hymn.
Oh,
So,
that's a good idea.
so we had done that, and then we had about 109 people that have died, something like that. So we have breaking bread, like, the Lord is my life in the room. So in groups of 10, they would read the names and
Yes.
then tone cluster
Yes.
and then repeat that refrain for everybody. So that helps to
Oh,
move
that's beautiful.
things. And then for the exit recessional, then the bells are in the loft, so they announce the hymn, boom, boom, and then we start with that. So it has worked. Somebody gave me this idea, but it has worked for us.
Well, that's a very good idea. And if you don't have an established bell choir at your church, you can still get bells in people's hands and do these things. I mean, Mary Beth, that was a great idea.
Yes,
It's a good idea. That really is. And you hear one of these things and then you think, oh, but I can do that idea and change it, and make it something else. So hopefully that will help today. Okay, next comes appeal. So what we're going to do is start slow and easy, and then we're going to pick up the tempo. So if we could start with F4, and then F5 will be the second note of the appeal. So this is in the key of F, so if you've got a B, we're going to hear B flat. So here's what I want to hear. F4, F5, E5, D5, C5, B flat 4, A4, G4, and then we're back to F. Okay? No damping anywhere. So just the bunch that I just mentioned. F4 to F5. Ready? Ring. F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, F, E, D, C, B flat, A. Well, why don't you do two bells so that you don't have to be, okay, A, B flat. Once again, ready, and F, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, F, E, D, C. Got it. Okay. Now, keep your positions. We're coming back to you. Now, if you're an F5 ringer, I'm going to put this down so I can see your face. You're going to be part of both peers. So we're going to start with F5 and go up to F6. So it's the same pattern. F5, F6, E6, D6, C6, B flat, A, G, where's the G? Here it is. Where's the G? So can we start with F5 and go up to F6? Ready, and F, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G. Keep on going. Right. If it doesn't ring, just keep going. Yep. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So when I was saying that the F5 person is part of both peals, that's because you'll play F4, F5, but you've already played your first note with this peal, so you really played twice in a row. Okay.
Is this LV?
LV.
Okay.
Yep. So
Sorry.
in one church we had a jar that was quarters for clunkers, and at the end of the year we went out for ice cream. Okay. So F4 and F5 start. Ready, ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, And then the F repeats.
So we're doing both octaves at the same time.
Both octaves at the same time.
Okay.
E's, D's, C's, and we're descending. So just go in order.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay, you'll get it. Ready? And F, F, E, D, C, B flat, A, G, F, F, E. Keep on going. Choir will play the chords for the rest of it, for the Gloria. But what I really like is to change what we just did to eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Angels we have heard on high. So here we go. So we're going to move it, folks. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Another one of those famous Handbell lines, and it just made me think of something that happened up here, and you guys were wonderful. If you make a mistake, and you know you will, I tell my ringers, I have never played a mass where I haven't made at least several mistakes. I mean, but what do? You just keep on going. Because in handbells, better never than late. Not our better late than never. If you made a mistake, if you missed your note, it's gone. Don't you think, oh, I missed it, I'll play it now. Better never than late. And it's like in a piano, if you miss your chance, don't worry, it's coming back. Don't worry. It's just going to keep on coming. Now, we've used this many, many times. It is tried and true. Now, here's another one that I've thought of and I've never done. But let's try it. So it will be the exact same idea as Angels we have heard on high, but the notes are, we're moving on to Jesus Christ our sovereign King in the key of E flat. So it would be E flat 4 up to E flat 5. So E flat, D, C, E flat, A flat, G, E, F.
Yeah.
So if you can find all the accidentals, B flat, E flat, A flat.
Sure, now I'll be confused.
E flat. Oh, here's your, so I don't have your E flat. Here's an A flat. Here's E flat. That's E natural.
What's over there? That's to their, sitting there.
That's an E flat right there.
Here it is.
Your husband borrowed one.
Oh, my husband does things like that. It's okay.
So wait, I'll play those.
Okay, so what do we need?
So we need the lowest E flat 4. Can I do that? E flat, and then E flat 5, D, so you do have 2 dots. D, C, B flat.
There's the A flat.
That's it. Do you have a B flat?
I got the B flat.
Okay, so play the E flat.
You need the B flat, I guess, because I got
Yep.
A flat and the G.
Okay, let's do that again. E flat, And then if we want to double that, we can do that. So are we ready to double it? No. E flat, oh, I'm sorry, you guys don't get to do this. E flat, D, put D in your left hand. Then you have C and D flat. Can you play something like C, E flat, A, flat, G, A flat, oh, you're wrong. So let's do the upper ones. So starting on E flat, E flat, E flat, D, C, E flat, A flat, G, F. Oh, you already got
Whoops,
it.
whoops, whoops, wait. No,
Yeah.
we have an F. We have an F and we don't have, okay, so somebody has to do F too.
All right. So what do we do?
Hold on.
Which I think you do.
And D.
Okay, all right. So what we're
Who
going
only
to do
has
is...
one?
Here's the F.
No, we have to keep them in order.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we just move everybody up one?
So I'm F.
G. Right? G, F, yes, so we just move up one. Yeah.
We're good.
Okay. E flat.
Okay, sorry.
E flat.